Welcome back, friends. You are with me, Anuradha, and this is the series LangChain Crash Course. We have already completed our first lesson in which we explained what LangChain is and we did a complete environment setup to get started. We also launched Jupyter Notebook as part of that and did a test LangChain environment. In case you are not yet set up with the LangChain environment, head back to my first tutorial, start from there and then come over here. Otherwise, I'm assuming that you are ready with your LangChain environment. As part of test LangChain environment, what we have already done is we have set up a model GPT-4o Mini and we saw how to access API key for OpenAI again in our last tutorial. And then we defined LLM through chat OpenAI, which is a wrapper from LangChain that lets us interact with OpenAI's model using an interface. We also sent our simple request, who is the Prime Minister of India, and we got a response. Fine, till this point. So the point to note over here in the first request is that our message or prompt is a completely static message and we were directly invoking the model using invoke, sending plain string and printing the response. Very simple. But while designing scalable application, we need to consider different kind of variables and not just the static prompts. Let's say if a user asks for the Prime Minister of different country, then you have to rewrite the prompt every time. And there we will be talking about PromptTemplate, which is one of the basic building block or basic component provided by LangChain. Let's take an example how we can separate out the static part and dynamic part from the prompt with the help of PromptTemplate class in LangChain. Let's create a duplicate of this script, the test LangChain environment, and let's rename it to PromptTemplate _ chain, and we will also be talking about parsers over here, so let's include that too. I'll just close this. Now let's create dynamic prompts using PromptTemplate. For that we will take an example. First we will need to import PromptChain class from LangChain itself. First what we will do, we'll just pick this static string, or let's pick some another string. Let's say we define a string called what is the capital of. Instead of some static value, we pass some variable over here. All good. This is a string where curly braces are representing a variable. Now to convert this string into a prompt template, you see, think of prompt template like a form, right? Like we go to bank and we are given a form, write some name, address and all. So name, address and all that labels are static and the values which we are filling in the field is dynamic, right? So here we are defining a variable. It will be filled on the runtime. So the prompt template makes this reusable and we will see that it can be easily inserted into LLMs with the help of LCEL expression, which we will be looking at soon. So to convert this plain string into prompt template, we'll simply make use of method .from _ template, and to this we will pass this template string. Now the beauty over here is it will automatically segregate static part and the dynamic part. Let's see how it looks at it, right? So we'll just print it. Let me run this again actually. So if you look at it, it is easily able to segregate with the help of this prompt template class that the variable input variable is country and the whole template should look like this. Let's say we pass our template final _ prompt, okay, and there we pass to this prompt template value of the variable which is passed by the user. All we have to do is we have to make use of format method. To that we can simply pass the value of the variable which it is expecting, let's say Japan. All right, and let's print this. So it gives me that the final prompt which is passed is what is the capital of Japan. So on the fly this value is replaced by the prompt template. And now finally let's get the response from the LLM through invoke method like we did earlier, and we are passing this final prompt. Let me just see the value. This part is same like before we did in our test environment. In our first request, the way we sent the final LLM invoke request, and LLM was created with the help of chat OpenAI class. Here you can see that there is this whole lot of response message where the main content is in the content field, and then there are other metadata as well, like total number of tokens sent, received, and many more values, right? Now let's talk about another very important basic building block of LangChain, which is LCEL, also called LangChain Expression Language. And let's see how we can invoke LLM with the help of chain. Now when we talk about chain, there is something which comes to mind is one part connected to another and carrying on the continuity, right? So one part of our code is prompt template, which we want to connect with LLM with the help of this pipe expression like we use in Unix also. With the help of this pipe operator, we can let the different components chain together. You can consider it as a flow chart in code, or maybe building like a Lego block, whatever you feel like. Chain itself is so expressive word. So this is how, when we are building a scalable application, as the application complexity will grow, we will see that chain holds the key to composable AI workflows. So right now we have created a chain, the prompt template we just created over here, right? This one we are passing to the LLM, getting the response. Now this time, instead of LLM.invoke, we will be doing chain.invoke, and we will be passing again our variable, but in the form of dictionary. And let's see the response again this time. Of course, same response. Now let's add one more component to this code, which is again another building block which we will be using in every code out there using building for LangChain application, which is output parsers. So right now I'll talk about the simplest output parsers. Right now we can see that we are getting this whole lot of response, and we just want the main content from the response, and we may want it in different format. Maybe we want it in simplest format, which is a string, but we may also want it in JSON format, dictionary, list, so that we can pass it to the next component in our flow chart which we are building as part of scalable application. So let's take the simplest example of output parser, but before that we have to import this LangChain parser from LangChain core, which we installed as part of our last tutorial. So from there we will import string output parsers. Now later on you will see that there are so many kind of parsers provided by LangChain. Let's see, let's go to LangChain output parser page, and here you will see that there are different kinds of output parsers provided, and it's just they are giving the output from the response, whatever we need from the main output, not metadata, in this format: string, JSON, CSV, so many, right? Pydantic, which will help to give JSON again, pandas data frame, I mean so much of possibilities, but right now we will be using string output parser. So if we go to string output parser page, we can see how we can make use of it from this page. So let's go back to our Jupyter notebook. So I have imported this, and what we will be doing, we'll be creating instance of this output parser. Okay, so here in our chain we will add one more component, output parser, which is an instance of string output parser. So whatever output we are getting from LLM, this output, this whole output, we will be extracting the main content, and it will be giving us it in the string format. Let's again invoke the chain, and see what response we get this time. Perfect. And this, if you see the type over here, string, right? This is what it means. All right, so these are the three basic building blocks of LangChain prompt templates, LCEL output parser. Now let's talk about one of the special prompt templates which are primarily used by chat models, and those are chat prompt template. We will not be simply passing the string. There are different roles which are used in chat prompt template. One can be the system role, where we are defining the role of the LLM to making it specialized, maybe some teacher, historian, geography expert, translator, whatever, right? The other is the user role, like what user is sending as a part of prompt. Then there can be AI assistant message, what LLM is responding as. Then we can also use this chat template to give example. So right now I'll just keep it simple. I'll define a chat template, and for that we have to import from chat prompts, LangChain prompts. We will import another kind of prompt templates which are given by the LangChain itself, and those are called chat prompt templates. And as again the name is again very expressive itself, this is meant for chat. So we need to, in chat we need to define the role plays, right? Who is what. So we'll be setting up the messages in the form of from messages, and we'll be defining a list of roles, one tuple for each role. Let's say system role, we are defining it. Let's say we want our LLM to be a historian and to give some interesting descriptions about whatever historical fact we ask for. So let's quickly give it a role. Again, let's separate it with comma, and then define another tuple with another role play which is of user, and there again we'll be passing two parts of prompt, static and dynamic. Tell me something about some topic. Okay, now if you look at it, we are letting structure role based conversation, and in system message we are setting the tone or personality, and in user message we are triggering the query, right? Perfect for assistants, tutors or agents. Now we have a chat prompt template. The rest is same. We have to create a chain. So let's do that. Chain is like before we created, so I'll just copy it. I've already defined output parser, so I'll not define it again. Yep. So we'll pass the response, and this response, instead of this, I'll just customize topic variable, right? Let's say I want to ask about Egyptian civilization. Let's see what we get as a response. Oops, I have done something wrong. Still passing country somewhere. Okay, I have to pass chat template over here, not prompt. Like a historian, expert historian, it gave me some answer about Egyptian civilization. All right, so that was all about this lesson. The purpose of this lesson is to come up with the core concepts or core building blocks, which are prompt template, chat prompt template, chat OpenAI, string output parser, LCEL, and of course we use an invoke method. And what I would suggest you to come out with a currency converter assistant at this point, right? All you have to do is to come up with a chat template. You have to give it a system role that you are a currency converter, and then you have to come up with a user role where user is asking convert the amount from currency to currency, right? So there are three variables. There would be three variables in that. Just and then create a chain, create inputs, and then the response. And do post your answers in the comment. I hope you do not come up with ChatGPT for answering. Just make use of your logic and apply it. And till then, I'll see you in next lesson. I hope you like this lesson. Please drop comments, likes, and do subscribe to my channel in order to keep me going. Thank you so much.